She's the only one who makes us proud. Those 7 words, glowing on a phone screen, would trigger a chain of events that tore an entire family apart. This isn't a story about sibling rivalry or petty family drama. This is about a woman who discovered she'd been funding her own invisibility for 6 years, and what happened when she decided enough was enough. Ashley turned 30 years old alone in her Richmond apartment, staring at a single cupcake she'd bought for herself. No calls, no texts, no cards, just silence. Then her phone lit up with an Instagram notification. Her younger sister Brooke, glowing at the airport, bags packed for a surprise trip to Paris, courtesy of their parents. The post exploded with heart emojis and congratulations. And there, pinned at the top for everyone to see, was their mother's comment declaring Brooke the only child worth being proud of. The sting wasn't new. Ashley had felt it her entire life. But this time, something inside her snapped. When she finally called her mom that afternoon, hoping maybe they'd just forgotten, she got 4 rings and a distracted voice. The airport sounds buzzed in the background as her mother barely acknowledged it was Ashley's birthday, before hanging up to board a flight with her golden child sister. That cupcake sat untouched as Ashley opened her laptop and logged into a joint bank account she'd been feeding for 6 years. What she found there would change everything. The account started innocently enough. Ashley's father had a health scare that left them drowning in medical bills. She'd just landed her first big pharmaceutical sales job and wanted to help her struggling parents. So she set up automatic transfers, $500 every single month, straight from her paycheck. It wasn't a fortune, but over 6 years, it added up to $36,000. $36,000 she gave them while scraping by on ramen and skipping vacations because she thought her parents needed her. They never once said thank you. They never once acknowledged the help. When she mentioned it at Thanksgiving 2 years prior, her mother waved it off like it meant nothing. "We're fine, really," she'd said. But they weren't just fine. They were living large. Ashley clicked through the transaction history, her stomach turning with each entry. There were the normal bills, sure. Groceries, utilities, car payments. But then came the gut punch. A $4,000 charge labeled travel agency. Another $1,500 for boutique shopping. And the real kicker, a $10,000 deposit into Brooke's personal account with one word in the memo line: gift. They'd been using her money, not for emergencies, not for medical bills, for luxury trips and designer clothes and cash gifts for the daughter they actually loved. While Ashley worked herself to exhaustion, her parents were funding Brooke's lifestyle with money they never earned. The childhood memories came flooding back with brutal clarity. Brooke got the best bedroom, new clothes, private tutoring when she struggled in school. Ashley got hand-me-downs and a pat on the head for straight A's. When Brooke wanted dance lessons in middle school, their parents paid for expensive classes and costumes without hesitation. When Ashley asked for photography classes in high school, her dad told her they couldn't afford it and she should focus on practical things instead. She worked at a grocery store after school, saving every dollar to buy a used camera. Her parents never attended the small art show where her photos were displayed, but they sat front row at every single one of Brooke's dance recitals with flowers in hand. The pattern had always been there. She'd just been too desperate for their love to see it clearly. Golden child syndrome isn't just a pop psychology term. It's a documented pattern where parents pour all their attention, resources, and praise onto one child, while the other becomes functionally invisible. The favored child can do no wrong. The other child can do nothing right. Psychologists note that the overlooked child often develops issues with self-worth, spending years trying to earn love that should never have conditions attached to it. Ashley had been living this reality for 3 decades, and she'd just discovered she'd been paying for her own emotional abandonment. She sat back in her chair, hands trembling, doing the math again and again, hoping she'd miscalculated. But the numbers didn't lie. 6 years, $500 per month, $36,000 total. She thought about the weekend trips with coworkers she'd turned down because she couldn't afford them. The 2 weeks she ate nothing but ramen because her car needed repairs, and she didn't want to touch her emergency fund. Every sacrifice she'd made while her parents treated Brooke like royalty with her money. The cupcake stared back at her from the table. Then she clicked withdraw. It took 3 carefully planned days to move the money back into her personal account. Small transfers, nothing large enough to trigger alerts. With each transaction, waves of guilt crashed over her. Was she being petty? Was this an overreaction? Then she'd remember her mother's Instagram comment, visible to everyone they knew, and the guilt evaporated. This wasn't stealing. This was reclaiming what was rightfully hers. This was choosing herself for the first time in 30 years. Brooke called from Paris on day 3 of her trip, gushing about the city, the Louvre, dinner near the Eiffel Tower. She even thanked Ashley for helping their parents financially, acknowledging that her support probably made the trip possible. "You're the best big sister ever," Brooke said with genuine affection. Ashley hung up and threw her phone across the room. The thing about Brooke was that she wasn't cruel or malicious. She was just completely oblivious, raised in a bubble where the world revolved around her because that's exactly what their parents had taught her. But that didn't make it hurt any less. With the money back in her control, Ashley started researching what to do with it. She wasn't going to waste it on revenge purchases or meaningless luxuries. She wanted something that would actually change her life. That's when she found a medical billing certification program, a 6-month course that would qualify her for healthcare administration work, something she'd always been interested in, but never had the resources to pursue. The program cost $8,000 up front. Before, that would have been impossible. Now she had the means. She signed up that night, investing in herself for once instead of people who'd never appreciated her. Her parents didn't notice the missing money immediately. But 2 weeks later, her father called. "There's been some kind of error," he said. "Over $30,000 is missing from the account. Do you know anything about that?" Ashley's heart pounded as she chose her words carefully. "I withdrew it. It was my money. I put it in there. I took it back out." The silence on the other end felt endless. Then came the accusation. They'd been counting on that money. It was for emergencies. Ashley's voice went cold. Emergencies like a trip to Paris? Like a $10,000 gift to Brooke? Her father fumbled for an excuse. Something about Brooke needing a break, about wanting to do something special for her. "And what about me?" Ashley asked, her voice breaking. "I've been putting money in that account for 6 years, and you never once said thank you. You never once asked if I needed help. You just took it and gave everything to Brooke." Setting boundaries with parents who've exhibited toxic behavior patterns is one of the hardest things a person can do. Family manipulation often relies on guilt, obligation, and the weaponization of love. When someone finally stands up and says no, the entire family system that benefited from their compliance suddenly labels them as selfish or ungrateful. But boundaries aren't cruelty. They're survival. Her mother called that evening, voice shrill with accusation. "How could you do this to us? We trusted you." Ashley fired back, asking when they'd trusted her with anything except their bank account password. Her mother insisted they hadn't lied. They just didn't think Ashley would make such a big deal out of it. "A big deal," Ashley repeated, her voice rising. "That was $36,000. And you spent it on Brooke while I ate ramen and worked myself to exhaustion." Her mother's response revealed everything. "Brooke is going through a lot right now. She needed our support." "And I didn't," Ashley said flatly. Her mother had no answer. Instead, she delivered the line that had controlled Ashley her entire life. "Your father and I are very disappointed in you." Ashley laughed bitterly. "Of course I'm the disappointment. I always have been. When's the last time you celebrated anything I did? When's the last time you even asked how I was doing?" Silence. Then her mother said they'd talk when Ashley calmed down and hung up. Ashley threw herself into the medical billing course with an intensity that surprised even her. The coursework was demanding, but she loved every minute of it. Classes met twice weekly in the evenings, and she spent weekends studying at a coffee shop near her apartment. She met other students who were also rebuilding their lives. A single mom named Patricia who'd been laid off from her factory job. A guy named Marcus who was transitioning careers after burnout. For the first time in years, Ashley didn't feel alone. Patricia told her over lunch one Saturday, "You're doing the right thing. Investing in yourself is the smartest thing you can do." Those words meant more than any praise from her parents ever had. Brooke returned from Paris 3 weeks after Ashley's birthday and called demanding answers. "Mom and Dad are furious with you. They said you stole money from their account." "Is that true?" Ashley corrected her coldly. "It was my money. I took back what was mine." Brooke's voice got small. "I didn't know they were using your money." Of course you didn't, Ashley snapped. You never know anything. You just coast through life while everyone else picks up the pieces. Brooke tried to apologize, but Ashley cut her off. Just enjoy your life, Brooke. That's what you're good at. She blocked her sister's number and spent that night staring at herself in the bathroom mirror, barely recognizing the harder, angry subject line, emergency. Your father lost his job last week, and we're in serious financial trouble. We need that money back. This isn't a request. We could lose the house. Please call immediately. Ashley sat staring at the screen, the familiar guilt creeping back in. Her parents might lose their home. Wasn't she supposed to help family in genuine emergencies? Then she remembered. They'd had $36,000 in cushion money. They'd chosen to spend it on luxury trips and gifts for Brooke, instead of saving it for actual emergencies. This was the consequence of their choices, not hers. She called her friend Vanessa, voice shaking as she explained the situation. Vanessa's response was immediate and firm. This is not your problem. They had your money for years and wasted it. If they're in financial trouble now, that's on them. They can downsize. They can get new jobs. They can ask Brooke for help. You are not their safety net. Ashley knew she was right. She replied to her mother's email with brutal honesty. I'm sorry about Dad's job, but I can't help you financially. I gave you $36,000 over the years, and you spent it on things that weren't emergencies. I suggest you talk to Brooke about helping since she's the one you've always prioritized. She hit send and turned off her phone. 3 days later, Caroline from the hospital called. You got the job. Ashley burst into tears right there in her living room. The starting salary was $75,000 a year, almost double what she'd been making in pharmaceutical sales. Full benefits, room for advancement, everything she'd ever wanted professionally. She'd done it. She'd actually rebuilt her life from the ground up, and nobody could take that away from her. Then Brooke showed up at her apartment. Ashley was bringing groceries home when she found her sister sitting on the steps outside her building, looking thinner and exhausted. What are you doing here? Ashley asked. I needed to apologize in person, Brooke said quietly. Give me 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking. They went upstairs and Brooke confessed everything. She'd confronted their parents after learning the truth. They'd told her Ashley was being dramatic, but Brooke had gone through the bank statements herself and seen the evidence. I'm sorry for being oblivious, for taking everything for granted, for not realizing how badly they were treating you. You're my sister and I should have noticed. Her voice cracked. Ashley softened slightly. You were just being who they taught you to be. But Brooke wasn't finished. I told them I'm not taking any more money from them until they apologize to you. And they're furious with me now too. Apparently I'm ungrateful. Ashley felt a flicker of sympathy. Welcome to my world. Brooke revealed she was moving out of their parents' house, getting her own apartment, going back to school. I'm not going to be their perfect little princess anymore. She asked if they could ever be real sisters, not just by blood. Maybe someday, Ashley said carefully, but it's going to take time, a lot of time. After Brooke left, Ashley checked her email and found another message from her mother. I don't know what you said to Brooke, but she's refusing to help us. You've turned her against us. You're tearing this family apart. Ashley deleted it without responding. She was done being blamed for the dysfunction her parents had created. The next 2 weeks flew by. Ashley finished her medical billing course at the top of her class, received her certification, and prepared for her new hospital job. Patricia threw a small celebration, just pizza and cake, but it felt more genuine than any family gathering Ashley had ever attended. When someone called for a speech, Ashley stood awkwardly. 6 months ago, I was in a really dark place. I felt invisible and unappreciated. But this course and all of you helped me remember I'm worth something. Thank you for being there for me. The applause felt real, earned, meaningful. The day before starting her new job, Ashley unfollowed her parents on social media. She didn't block them, just stopped letting their lives affect hers. But as she scrolled, she noticed something. Her mother had posted 2 days earlier. Sometimes your children disappoint you in ways you never imagined. We raised Ashley to be better than this, but she's chosen selfishness over family. Praying for her to see the light. The post had dozens of comments, most supporting her mother with platitudes about family being everything. But some stood out. Her Aunt Linda had written, "Maybe it's time to look at your own actions instead of blaming Ashley. I've watched you treat that girl like garbage for years." And her cousin Jake commented, "Ashley's been supporting you financially for years and you never thanked her. Maybe she got tired of being taken for granted." Ashley screenshotted everything for insurance. Her first week at Virginia Commonwealth University Health System exceeded every expectation. The department was busy but organized, everyone genuinely welcoming. Caroline checked in at the end of the week. "You're catching on fast. I've been getting great feedback, and I want you to know there's room for growth here. If you keep performing like this, I could see you in management within a year or two." Ashley could barely process it. Management. Within 2 years. Everything was finally falling into place. That weekend, Ashley invited Brooke to lunch. Nothing fancy, just two sisters trying to figure out if they could salvage something from the wreckage. Brooke looked nervous, clutching her purse like a lifeline. They made awkward small talk until Brooke finally said, "I talked to Mom and Dad again. They're still refusing to take responsibility. They think you're being vindictive." Ashley nodded. "Of course they do." Brooke continued, "I told them I wasn't going to be part of their games anymore, that if they wanted a relationship with me, they needed to apologize to you. Mom hung up on me. Dad called me an ungrateful brat." Despite everything, Ashley felt sympathy. "I'm sorry." "Don't be," Brooke said firmly. "You were right about everything. I don't want to be that spoiled, oblivious person anymore." They agreed to start over, no expectations, just two people trying to be sisters. It wasn't forgiveness yet, but it was a beginning. That night, Ashley's mother tagged her in a Facebook post. A long, rambling message about family values and respect, ending with, "Ashley, if you're reading this, your father and I are heartbroken by your actions. We're praying you'll come back to us before it's too late." The comments flooded in, a mix of support and confusion. Some relatives asked Ashley directly what was happening. She'd had enough of the lies. She commented publicly, "Mom, I gave you $36,000 over 6 years for medical bills. You used it to fund luxury trips and gifts for Brooke while ignoring me. You forgot my birthday and publicly stated Brooke was the only child who made you proud. I'm done being your ATM. If you want a relationship, start by apologizing and taking responsibility." She hit post before she could second-guess herself. The response was immediate and explosive. Within minutes, dozens of comments appeared. Her Aunt Linda wrote, "Finally, someone said it." Her mother responded, "This is a private family matter. How dare you air our business publicly?" Ashley replied, "You made it public when you tagged me. I'm just telling my side." Then she logged off and blocked both parents on all platforms. Her hands shook, but she felt lighter than she had in years. The truth was out. The Facebook post exploded overnight, racking up over 200 comments and countless shares. Ashley's phone flooded with messages from relatives she hadn't spoken to in years. Her Aunt Linda called at 7 a.m. "Honey, are you okay?" "I had no idea it was that bad." "Most people didn't," Ashley said. "They were good at hiding it." Linda revealed that Ashley's mother was calling everyone in the family trying to get them to side with her. "It's not going well. The truth has a way of speaking for itself." That surge of vindication felt better than any apology ever could. At work Monday, Ashley dove into her role with renewed focus. The hospital's billing department was complex and challenging, exactly what she needed. Caroline gave her several high-priority accounts, trusting her with responsibilities usually reserved for more experienced staff. During lunch, Vanessa called. "I saw your Facebook post. That took serious guts. Are you okay?" "I'm tired of hiding their dysfunction," Ashley said. "If they wanted privacy, they shouldn't have attacked me publicly first." Vanessa laughed. "Fair point. How are they taking it?" "Not well, but that's not my problem anymore." That afternoon, her father called from an unknown number. "We need to meet face to face," he said, his voice strained. "We need to resolve this." "There's nothing to resolve," Ashley replied flatly. "You and Mom made your choices. I made mine. We're done." Her father pushed harder. "We're your parents. Please. We'll buy you dinner. We'll talk like adults. Adults don't forget their daughter's birthday, Ashley shot back. Adults don't steal from one child to spoil another. Adults take responsibility. Her father's voice shifted. We're willing to admit we made mistakes. That stopped her. The part of her that still remembered being a little girl desperate for their love wondered if maybe they were finally sincere. Fine. One dinner, but I choose the place and Brooke comes if maybe they were finally sincere. Fine. One dinner, but I choose the place and Brooke comes too. She chose a quiet restaurant in downtown Richmond, public enough they couldn't make a scene. Brooke arrived early, nervous energy radiating off her. You okay? She asked. I will be, Ashley said. Their parents walked in at exactly 6 p.m., both looking older and more worn than Ashley remembered. They sat down and nobody spoke for a long moment. Finally, her dad cleared his throat. Thank you for agreeing to meet. Let's just get to it, Ashley said. You wanted to talk, so talk. Her mother folded her hands. Ashley, we owe you an apology. Go on, Ashley said, waiting. We've been thinking about what you said, her mother continued. About the money, about how we treated you. And you're right. We haven't been fair. Ashley stayed silent, letting them fill the uncomfortable space. We've always worried about Brooke more because she struggled with things you handled easily. You were so independent, so capable. We thought you didn't need us as much. So you just stopped trying, Ashley said coldly. We didn't stop trying, her dad insisted. We just prioritized differently. You forgot my birthday, Ashley said, her voice steady. You commented on Instagram that Brooke was the only one who made you proud. How is that prioritizing differently? Her mother looked down. That comment was a mistake. I was excited for your sister. A mistake you left up for everyone to see. Her dad tried a different approach. We're here because we want to fix this. We want our family back. You want your ATM back? Ashley corrected. Let's be honest. Dad lost his job. You're in financial trouble. And suddenly you want to reconcile. The timing is convenient. Brooke jumped in. She's right. You didn't care about fixing things until you needed money. Their mother turned to her, shocked. Brooke, you know that's not true. Actually, I don't, Brooke said firmly. Ashley's telling the truth about everything. I saw the bank statements. I saw where her money went. I've been thinking about how differently you treated us growing up. She's not making this up. The table fell into tense silence. Finally, Ashley leaned forward. Tell me one thing you're proud of me for. One accomplishment you celebrated. One time you put my needs first. Her mother opened her mouth, then closed it. She couldn't think of anything. Neither could her dad. The realization hit Ashley like a physical blow. They really couldn't name a single thing. That's what I thought, she said quietly. Her dad leaned forward, voice strained. Ashley, you're being unreasonable. We're trying. No, Ashley said. You're trying to manipulate me into feeling guilty, so I'll give you money again. There's a difference. Let me make something very clear, Ashley continued. I'm not giving you any more money. Not now, not ever. I spent 6 years supporting you and you used me. That's done. Her mother's eyes filled with tears. We're going to lose the house, Ashley. Is that what you want? To see your parents homeless? You're not going to be homeless, Ashley said. You have options. Downsize. Get jobs. Ask Brooke for help since she's the daughter you actually care about. I already told them no, Brooke said quietly. I'm not enabling this anymore either. Their parents looked at her with matching expressions of betrayal. Her mother pushed back from the table, voice rising. This is ridiculous. We've apologized. We've admitted mistakes. What more do you want? I want you to understand why what you did was wrong, Ashley said. I want you to acknowledge you hurt me, not just say sorry because you think I want to hear it. Fine, her mother snapped. You want specifics? We're sorry we forgot your birthday. We're sorry we didn't celebrate your achievements. We're sorry we used your money. Is that good enough? Say it like you mean it, Ashley challenged. Her mother's face hardened. I've said all I'm going to say. If that's not enough, then we're done here. She stood up, grabbing her purse. Her dad looked between them, conflicted, then stood slowly. Ashley, I hope you reconsider. Family is important. Family is important, Ashley agreed. That's why I'm not letting you abuse me anymore. They left without another word. Ashley and Brooke sat in silence for a moment before Brooke said, "Well, that went about as expected." "Yeah," Ashley agreed. "Are you okay?" "I am, actually. I gave them a chance. They blew it. That's on them." They ordered dinner and spent the next hour talking about everything except their parents. For the first time in their lives, they were just two sisters having a normal conversation. No competition, no favoritism, no drama. When they left, Brooke hugged her tight. "Thank you for giving me another chance." "Thank you for showing up," Ashley replied. Over the following weeks, life settled into a new rhythm. Ashley excelled at her hospital job, consistently impressing Carolyn and the team. Her parents tried reaching out a few more times through emails and voicemails, each message apologetic on the surface but manipulative underneath, always circling back to their financial problems. Ashley ignored them all. The family drama on Facebook eventually died down, but not before several relatives reached out privately to tell her they'd suspected something was wrong for years. Her Aunt Linda became a regular presence, actively including Ashley in family dinners and holidays. 3 months after the disastrous dinner, Caroline called Ashley into her office. "I have some news. We're creating a new position, Assistant Director of Medical Billing. I'd like to offer it to you." Ashley's jaw dropped. "Already? You've proven yourself. You're organized, efficient, and the team respects you. The position comes with a significant raise and more responsibilities." "What do you say?" "Yes," Ashley said without hesitation. "Absolutely yes." Caroline smiled. "Great. We'll make it official next week. Assistant Director." 6 months ago, she'd been crying over a forgotten birthday. Now she was being promoted to leadership at a major hospital. Patricia threw her an impromptu celebration that weekend. Small and intimate, just Patricia and her kids, Vanessa and Brooke. But it meant everything. These people had supported her when she was at her lowest. To Ashley, Patricia said, raising her glass, "The strongest person I know." "Thank you," Ashley said, tears forming. "All of you for believing in me when I didn't believe in myself." Later, driving home, her father called. She almost didn't answer, but something made her pick up. "What do you want?" she asked, exhausted. "I wanted to tell you I got a new job," he said. "It doesn't pay as much, but it's something. And your mom is working part-time at a retail store. We're going to be okay." "Good for you," Ashley said carefully. Her father took a breath. "I also wanted to say, I'm sorry, really sorry. Not because I want something, but because you deserve to hear it. We were wrong. We treated you terribly, and there's no excuse." Ashley pulled over, hands shaking. "Your mother isn't ready to admit it yet, but I am. You were right about everything. We took you for granted. We played favorites. We used you. And I'm ashamed." Tears streamed down Ashley's face. This was what she'd waited 30 years to hear. "Thank you," she managed to say. "I don't expect you to forgive me," he continued. "I don't even expect you to want a relationship. I just needed you to know I see what we did." They talked for 20 minutes. He didn't ask for money or try to guilt her into anything. He just talked and she listened. For the first time in her life, her father actually saw her. It wasn't forgiveness yet, but it was a start. The following months brought changes Ashley never imagined. Her role as assistant director kept her busy but fulfilled. She implemented new systems that saved the hospital thousands of dollars and improved patient satisfaction. Other directors started seeking her input on their own projects. Brooke continued growing closer to her, meeting weekly for dinner and texting regularly. She'd enrolled in community college, working toward a business degree, and started seeing a therapist to unpack the family dynamics that had shaped her. "My therapist says I was conditioned to see myself as superior," Brooke told her one evening. Recognizing that is the first step to changing. Ashley's relationship with her dad slowly improved. They talked every few weeks, brief conversations where he'd update her on his job and ask about hers. Her mom still hadn't apologized directly, and Ashley accepted she probably never would. Some people aren't capable of that level of self-reflection. 6 months into her assistant director role, She attended a healthcare administration conference in DC and networked with professionals from across the country. During a session on billing innovations, she met a consultant named Grace who ran a firm helping hospitals optimize their departments. "You have some really interesting ideas," Grace said after Ashley's presentation. "If you ever consider consulting, here's my card." Ashley pocketed it, happy where she was, but keeping options open. That Christmas, Ashley spent the holiday with Aunt Linda's family. First Christmas in years where she felt genuinely welcomed and valued. Brooke came too, and they exchanged gifts, laughed, ate too much food. Ashley spent the holiday with Aunt Linda's family. First Christmas in years where she felt genuinely welcomed and valued. Brooke came too, and they exchanged gifts, laughed, ate too much food. Her parents called Christmas morning. Her dad wished her a Merry Christmas, her mom audible in the background but not getting on the phone. "How's your day going?" he asked. "It's good, really good. I'm glad." "You deserve it." After hanging up, Ashley didn't feel sad or angry, just at peace. The new year brought more opportunities. Caroline approached Ashley about pursuing a master's degree in healthcare administration, with the hospital willing to cover most costs. She enrolled in an online program, excited to further her education. Vanessa got engaged and asked Ashley to be a bridesmaid. Patricia's daughter graduated high school and decided to pursue nursing, inspired by stories Ashley and her mom had shared about healthcare work. Ashley's life was full in ways she never thought possible. One Saturday in March, cleaning her apartment, Ashley found the old birthday card from her parents with the torn-up $500 check. She'd kept the pieces in a drawer, unsure why. She looked at them for a long moment, then threw them in the trash. She didn't need their money. She didn't need their approval. She'd built a life she was proud of, surrounded by people who actually valued her. That evening, Brooke sent a message. "Just wanted to say I'm proud of you." Ashley smiled and typed back, "Proud of you too." A few days later, her mother finally broke her silence with an email. No subject line. "Ashley, I've been doing a lot of thinking. Your father tells me you're doing well, and I'm glad. I'm not good at apologies, and I don't know if I'll ever be, but I want you to know I do see you now. I see what we did, how we hurt you. I don't expect forgiveness. I just wanted you to know I'm trying to be better. Maybe one day we can talk. Mom." It wasn't the groveling apology Ashley once fantasized about. It wasn't even particularly good, but it was something. She wrote back, "Thank you for saying that. I'm not ready for a relationship yet, but maybe someday. I hope you and Dad are okay." Her mother responded, "We are, and I hope you are too." That was enough for now. As spring turned to summer, Ashley's life continued flourishing. The hospital promoted her again, this time to Director of Revenue Operations, overseeing multiple departments. Her salary had nearly tripled from her pharmaceutical sales days. She started looking at houses to buy. Her parents struggled after her dad's job loss, eventually selling their large house and moving into a smaller condo. They both worked now, living within their means for the first time in years. According to Brooke, they talked about Ashley sometimes, expressing regret, though her mom still struggled to say it directly. Brooke graduated community college with honors and transferred to a 4-year university, finding her own path independent of their parents' expectations. Family members who'd sided with her parents quietly reached out over time, some apologizing, others just trying to rebuild bridges. Ashley was selective about who she let back in, choosing authentic relationships over obligatory ones. Through Aunt Linda, she connected with other relatives, discovering cousins who'd had similar experiences with family favoritism. They bonded over shared stories. 1 year after that fateful birthday, Ashley celebrated turning 31 with a party at her new townhouse. Vanessa, Patricia, Brooke, Aunt Linda, and several hospital colleagues came. Good food, wine, genuine celebration. As everyone sang happy birthday, Ashley looked around at these people who'd become her chosen family. She felt overwhelmed with gratitude. Not for the struggle, but for the strength she'd found within herself to fight back. Her parents never regained their previous financial stability. Her dad's new job paid considerably less. Her mom's retail position was part-time with no benefits. They lived modestly, something they'd never had to do when they had access to Ashley's money. The lavish trips and expensive gifts for Brooke became impossible. They'd had to learn to budget for the first time in decades. Brooke said their mom complained constantly about clipping coupons and shopping sales, never acknowledging she'd once had a comfortable cushion thanks to Ashley's contributions. Her dad seemed genuinely changed, accepting responsibility. But her mom continued making subtle comments to relatives about how difficult things were, with undertones suggesting Ashley could have prevented their struggles if she'd been less selfish. The extended family saw through it now. Most had stopped enabling her narrative. Looking back, Ashley realized withdrawing that money wasn't revenge. It was self-preservation. She'd spent years trying to earn love that should have been freely given, trying to prove her worth to people who'd already decided she wasn't enough. Taking back what was hers wasn't about hurting them. It was about finally choosing herself. In doing so, she discovered something more valuable than any amount of money. The unshakable knowledge that she was enough, that she'd always been enough, and that she didn't need anyone's approval to prove it. Sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's simply living well and refusing to let anyone dim your light ever again. Ashley learned that family isn't just about blood. It's about respect, reciprocity, and genuine care. She found her real family, the people who showed up for her, celebrated her wins, and supported her growth. And she learned the most important lesson of all.